What is the best live action movie remake out there? Is it Cinderella? Is it Pinocchio? Is it Snow White? No. But DreamWorks might have just beat all those Disney remakes, and I know there's tons of them, but is this their first try? I'm pretty sure, of How to Train Your Dragon.
We're going to be reviewing the live action How to Train Your Dragon to see if it lives up to all the hype it's been getting and if it's better than the original. We're going to be looking at 5 different categories specifically and ranking them 1 through 10.
Once we have all the rankings in the different categories, at the very end, we're going to put it into the Golden Movie Awards, and we're going to be reviewing more movies at the end of this whole season that we're doing, maybe at the end of 2025. We're going to put all the movies into this ranking and see what the actual best movie of 2025 is. And this is the first movie we're doing it with, so I have a feeling this is going to be a very strong contender, but let's get right into the categories.
So we're starting off strong with faithfulness to the original movie. Now, I think this movie did a great job with remaining faithful to the original, which is something that makes this such a strong contender as opposed to some of the Disney live action remakes, because they've been changing a lot, especially with ones like Snow White, but pretty much all of them have had aspects that have been changed. This movie, really, there were only a few slight tweaks or changes, but it was the same director from the original movie as well, which is what I think made it so good.
There are some small lines or scenes that were cut that seem like they would be minor, but they actually helped build the plot.
Not so fireproof on the inside, are you?
Which leads Hiccup to realize shooting into a dragon's belly could be its weak spot. Well, that line was taken out of the remake, and without it, the final battle with the Red Death felt less like Hiccup had a clever strategy. The scene was still fantastic, and it showed the skill of Hiccup and Toothless working together, but there are several other scenes like this that are subtle, but just helped make the original feel even more thoughtfully crafted.
I thought the casting was really well done. Hiccup and Astrid were both great, and the original actor for Stoic did amazing. They included a new scene where Stoic was talking in a meeting to the village people. He explained that over the generations, different tribes had settled in the village, which explained the diversity geographically, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense in the Scottish or Scandinavian setting. There are more small changes throughout the movie where it doesn't really change the story, but it's just slightly different. So we'll have to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Other than a few changes, the movie as a whole was very, very similar.
Next is the visual effects, and especially how the dragons look. I think that this movie did extremely well with making the dragons look realistic. I think they did as good as they could have, honestly. Not just the dragons, but everything in the movie looked so good, and the atmosphere and the vibes.
Yeah, it was a really aesthetically, visually pleasing movie to see. We saw it twice already. We watched it in the Dolby Cinema, so that really added to it. The scenery and everything was absolutely gorgeous, and yeah, they did a great job with all the dragons, the visual effects and things like that. I know a lot of the movie was actually practical effects, including the sets, so having that as your base and using visual effects on top of the already beautiful set just makes it so much cooler. I think it's easily a 9.5 out of 10. Moving along to the next category, which is going to be casting and acting. I know there was a lot of talk about the casting decisions and a lot of hate, but to be completely honest, I think that they did an amazing job with the casting because they portrayed the characters very, very well. Now, I will say that some of them were not true to the way that they looked in the original, so we may have to bring the ranking down a little bit, but I think that they did an amazing job with the casting, and all of the actors and the acting was like on point, on par. They couldn't have done a better job, especially with the 2 main characters, Hiccup and Astrid. I think they did a great job. Their chemistry together was amazing, and obviously Mason Thames looked just like Hiccup. That was a great choice there, but Nico Parker did amazing as well. Like I said, just in portraying their characters. So their acting and their portrayal of the characters, 10 out of 10. I think it was really cool how they brought back the original voice actor for the dad as well. He did a great job, but there were a few tweaks to the way a few of the characters looked, so we'd have to probably bring it down to a 9 out of 10 for casting and acting.
Our 4th category is the soundtrack and how well it fits the scenes. The soundtrack from the original movie, she was telling me, I didn't really remember going into the movie just how good it was, but she was telling me I'm really excited for it. The scenes and the soundtrack, it gave me goosebumps during some of those scenes. It was insanely good. I don't want to say that it's a 10 out of 10, but I don't
It was a 10 out
I
of 10.
don't know what else
It
to
really
do.
was. So.
Yeah, and even the sound design was really well done. I mean,
Yeah.
there was nothing crazy over the top, but it didn't overdo it in places where it didn't need to be overdone.
10 out of 10. Moving on to our last category, which is the overall entertainment value. I don't want to say it again, but 10 out of 10. I wish there was something that we could criticize or nitpick. Honestly, it was a great movie, an amazing movie. I think they did an amazing job in all the categories that we spoke on. And I know some people were skeptical going into it. Even I was. I was like, I don't even know if I really want to see it. And then I went and saw it and I was like, holy crap, we got to go see it again. That was so good. Just shout out to all the directors, all the actors. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Maybe the reason we really loved it so much is because there's just been a drought of good movies. There's been rarely any good remakes. I mean, has been some that Disney has made, but it's not any recent ones. My only nitpicky thing I could say is that although Mason Thames was a really good Hiccup, I don't think he 100% portrayed Hiccup exactly as the original. I think he did an amazing job embodying the character, and it felt as if he was the real Hiccup, but there were just a couple differences.
Well, they tried to make him not as awkward, and I think that was the director's choice. I think that's the direction they went with it. They chose Mason Thames, just the way he portrays the character and the way he looks and everything. I think they wanted him not to be as awkward to kind of draw more people in, which, by the way, that kid is going to be such a rising actor. He's going to be one of the next big actors.
I'm very happy that he was able to get this role.
I mean, this was his first, like, big role. He had a big role in Black Phone, but he was obviously younger then, and it was just kind of a different portrayal, but this was really his first, like, big thing.
I'm really happy they did choose him. I wouldn't want another person playing Hiccup.
No.
So I think for overall entertainment value, we're gonna give this one a 10 out of 10.
It really was. We saw it one day and we literally saw it the next day. Again,
The
in
very
theaters.
next day. And I want to go see it in 40X, what is it called?
Yeah, 40X.
40X. I've been wanting to see a movie in 40X, and I think this is the one. Okay, so now we can put all the rankings together and average them.
So for faithful to the original movie, we gave that an 8.5 out of 10. For visual effects, we gave it a 9.5. Casting and acting, we gave a 9. Soundtrack, we gave a 10. And the entertainment, we gave a 10. So averaging all that together, that gives us about a 9.4 out of 10. I know that's a really strong start, but this was an incredible movie. And if you haven't seen it, I 100% recommend that you go see it in one of the really visually pleasing, like Dolby or IMAX or something, because it really is worth seeing. It was a beautiful portrayal of the movie, and I was very overall pleased with how they did.
And so that puts How to Train Your Dragon live action at number 1 of the Golden Movie Awards. I know there's only one movie in the rankings right now. I do feel like this might stay number 1 for a while though. Let us know what other movies you want us to review, and I promise we won't be so non-critical in the other movies. This one was just a really good movie and one of our favorites, to be honest.
Let us know what you thought. Do you agree with us? Do you not agree with us? Let us know. And we love you. We appreciate all of your support. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.